Hello. Welcome back to Snugglewood, young Dreamlynx. My name is Arin. Snuggle down into your coziest quilt and let tonight's calming tale and soothing sounds relieve you of any worries and guide you towards a deep, restful night's sleep under these beautiful stars above. And so our story begins in a place called Hearthstone Hamlet and the sleepy giant tale of Rustling Grove. Hearthstone Hamlet rests in the broad valley where the hills curve like the broad back of a resting form. The mythical giant whose watchful presence lingers over all of Snugglewood with quiet care. Stone cottages with thatched roofs stand in quiet rows, their windows glowing with warm lantern light as evening settles across the land. Smoke curls from chimneys carrying the aroma of baked bread and herbal teas that mingle with the cool air. Cobblestone paths wind between the homes, worn away by years of footsteps that have known both joy and quiet reflection. You find yourself walking these paths now, the air cool and carrying the promise of the forest beyond. Hearthstone Hamlet feels like an old friend, familiar and welcoming, with gardens full of late blooming flowers nodding in the breeze. Each step draws you farther from the clustered homes toward the tree line where the land opens into something deeper. The transition happens slowly, the sounds of village life softening behind you until only the call of evening birds remains. Ahead, a trail beckons, its entrance framed by two ancient oaks whose branches arch overhead like a natural gateway. The ground under your feet changes from stone to soft earth, layered with fallen leaves and moss, each step sinking just a bit more into the surface, in a way that supports and comforts every part of you. Tall trees line the way, their trunks wide and covered in lichen patterns that speak of time passing in unhurried cycles. As you move forward along this path, the last traces of the hamlet fade completely, replaced by the first hints of the grove's own melody. Leaves brushing against one another in a continuous, rhythmic rustle that soothes the ears and invites deeper breaths to fill your lungs with the clean scent of bark and soil. The air grows richer here, thick with the memory of rain from past days and the subtle sweetness of wild herbs growing along the edges. Nostalgia rises within you, the kind that recalls childhood wanderings through woods, where every turn held wonder without demand. The mythical giant is said to have walked these outer paths long ago, leaving behind an essence of calm that still watches over the land like a silent guardian, ensuring all remains balanced. You continue onward, the trail curving gently between the trunks, and with each curve, the canopy thickens overhead until the sky appears only in fragments through the leaves. The sounds grow more pronounced now. The collective moment of foliage creating layers of soft brushing and light tapping that blend into a natural symphony designed to ease the mind. Your shoulders loosen as you walk, the path rising and falling in small undulations that match the rhythm of your own heartbeat, slowing to match the land's steady pace. Ahead, the trail widens into the true entrance of Rustling Grove, where the trees stand closer together, yet never crowded, their presence inviting rather than closing. You step fully into the grove, and the world narrows to this enclosed sanctuary of green and brown and golden light filtering through in soft patterns. The canopy spreads above like a living roof, built from countless branches, each leaf positioned to catch the breeze and send it onwards in waves of sound. The rustling here feels alive and personal, as if the trees themselves converse in low, comforting tones that wrap around you. Moss covers the ground in thick carpets, yielding underfoot with a plush texture that cushions every movement. Scents of damp earth and pine resin fill the air, grounding you further into the moment where nothing exists but the present surroundings. A group of breeze flits appear in the branches above, their little bodies gliding from leaf to leaf, with wings that produce only the faintest additional rustle, enhancing the natural melody without overpowering it. These creatures move with purpose, yet without haste. Their presence a reminder that all life here flows in harmony. You pause to observe them, feeling a sense of belonging settle over you like a familiar blanket from years gone by. The path continues deeper, winding between clusters of ferns that brush lightly against your legs, their fronds releasing a fresh, earthy aroma with each contact. Nostalgic images surface, perhaps memories of similar groves from earlier times in your life, where peace came easily and worries dissolved into the background. The mythical giant is said to have paused in places like this, during its journeys, infusing the soil with a lasting sense of security that now supports your steps. Farther along, the trail splits into smaller offshoots, each one promising new discoveries within the grove. You choose one that leads toward a series of small clearings, where the canopy parts just enough to allow more light to reach the forest floor. Here, moss whisperers make their homes among the roots. Small beings with fur the colour of rich soil, who move through the undergrowth, creating additional layers of soft rustling as they tend to fallen twigs and leaves. Their movements are always deliberate and caring, turning debris into soft beds for other creatures, and adding to the overall sense of order and comfort. You watch as one pauses near your path, its eyes meeting yours for a brief moment before it continues, leaving behind a trail of rearranged moss that feels even more inviting underfoot. The positive feeling builds within you, a quiet knowing that all is well and you are exactly where you need to be. The tour progresses naturally, the path leading you toward a quiet stream that winds through the heart of the grove. The water moves over smooth stones with a melodic flow that complements the leaf sounds, creating a layered backdrop of calm. You follow the stream's edge, the ground growing slightly damper and more yielding, rich with the scent of wet stones and aquatic plants. Canopy gliders appear overhead, large winged creatures that sail from branch to branch in slow arcs, their passage stirring the leaves into new patterns of rustle that feel like a personal welcome. Their calls are low and melodic, blending seamlessly with the environment to deepen the soothing atmosphere. As you walk beside the water, a sense of comfort emerges. The way this place echoes safe havens from stories heard in youth, where nature offered refuge and renewal without question. The mythical giant once rested near waters like these, their presence leaving the area with an enduring quality of restoration that now surrounds you completely. The stream widens into a small pool in the central clearing, its surface reflecting the canopy above in calm ripples. You stand at the pool's edge, the air here crisp and filled with the mist from flowing water. Root lilies burrow nearby, their rounded bodies creating subtle shifts in the earth that produce additional soft sounds of soil moving, like a natural lullaby from below. These creatures surface occasionally, their eyes soft and knowing, before retreating again to continue their work of aerating the ground and encouraging new growth. The combination of water, leaves, and creature activities creates an immersive soundscape that draws your attention inward, allowing tension to release with each breath. You feel a true connection to the land, as if every element affirms your right to complete ease and comfort. Continuing the tour, the path circles the pool and leads into the densest part of the grove, where age-old trees stand in a loose circle, forming the heart of Rustling Grove. Their trunks are broad enough to suggest centuries of growth, bark textured with deep grooves that hold stories of wind and rain. The rustling here reaches its fullest expression, the collective foliage moving in synchronized waves that rise and fall like the breath of the entire forest. You move to the center of this circle, finding a natural seat formed by a fallen log covered in soft moss. Sitting there, you allow the surroundings to fully embrace you. The scents, the sounds, the textures all working together to create a space of total presence. Leaf weavers join the scene, tiny beings that braid thin vines into intricate yet simple patterns along the lower branches. Their work adding subtle additional rustles that enhance the melody without disruption. Their actions evoke a sense of craft and care, mirroring the way the grove tends to itself and to those who visit. Nostalgia deepens as you sit. Recollections of peaceful moments from the past, blending with the current experience to form a continuous thread of comfort. The mythical giant is known to have found its own solace in a place much like this heart of the grove, watching over the land ever since, and ensuring that all who entered receive the same gift of tranquility. Here in this spot, positive messages arise naturally within you. Peace fills every part of your being. All feels right in this moment. Rest flows naturally as the grove shares its abundant calm. Time stretches in the most pleasant way. Moments blending into one another without pressure or hurry. You rise after a while, to continue the tour along a final loop that takes you past more clusters of ferns and wild berry bushes, heavy with ripe fruit, whose scent adds another layer of sweetness to the air. The creatures you encountered earlier seem to accompany your progress from a distance, their sounds integrating into the background like old companions. The path begins to curve back toward the entrance, yet the feeling of the grove remains with you, carried in your steps and breath. Night deepens around the edges of the canopy. Stars beginning to appear in the small openings above. You linger one last time near the pool, listening to the water and leaves create their final symphony of the evening. A sense of renewal fills you completely. The tour having guided you through every corner of Rustling Grove and left you with a lasting impression of harmony and ease. The mythical giant watches over this return, as it has watched over the entire journey. Its presence, a comforting constant in the vast world of Snugglewood. As you make your way back toward the hamlet, the rustling fades slowly behind you, but echoes in your memory. A reminder that such peace is always available whenever you choose to return. The grove has become part of you now. Its calming influence embedded into your very core. You step out from the trees with a quiet smile. The hamlet lights glowing ahead like beacons of home. Yet the true home you discovered lies within the Rustling Grove, where every leaf and creature and path offered exactly what was needed for complete and wonderful rest. The night air feels even more inviting now, carrying you forward into the hours ahead. where sleep will come easily and deeply. Filled with dreams as serene as the grove itself. All is well, and you carry that truth with you. The tour complete, yet its gifts enduring through the beautiful stars